Fellas, I'm about to give you guys some of the absolute must-have fragrances for 2023. Yeah, let's get into it. What's going on YouTube? I'm the bow tie fragrance guy. That is the fashion fragrance guy. So if you're into fashion, if you're into fragrances, want to find out a little bit more about grooming and lifestyle, you know, how you can be the best version of yourself every day, you found the right channel. Make sure you hit subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon as well, so that way anytime a new video is uploaded on the platform of YouTube, you'll be one of the first people to get notified. So on today's video, guys, I'm going to be diving into some of the must-have fragrances for 2023. Now, this list is going to consist of not only niche fragrances, but designer fragrances as well. The unique thing about this list is when I say must have for 2023, these are all very more recent, I would say, releases. So 2022 or either 2023 are the year that these fragrances were released. So they're all more recent releases to the market. So out of all these fragrances, of course, there are a lot of fragrances that are released every year. I think these are 10 of the best that I've gotten my nose on. So they're very modern, up-to-date fragrances, if you will. Now, it's not gonna, you're not gonna see any of my classic fragrances, of course, that like the Portrait of a Lady and things of that nature that were released years ago. These are just modern, more recent releases, but I think they're all worth adding to your collection. So if you want to see what's on the list, you guys know the routine. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it.
The Bow Tie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's jump right into the video. If I can find these fragrances at a pretty decent price, I'll make sure I try to link some of these down below. But the first fragrance is a designer fragrance, and it was released in the year of 2022. And it's from the brand of Hugo Boss, and this is Boss Bottled Parfum. Nice, really sexy bottle. Check that out. Nice black bottle. You can actually see through it though. This has fig, orris, and leather. So again, fig is a fruity accord or note, but it actually has a bit of a creamy nature to a fragrance. So you're gonna get that here primarily. Again, that kind of powdery nuance with a slightly earthy hint from the orris, and of course the leather. That's really the three notes that to me really comprise this fragrance for the most part, and it is very, very well done. Again, released last year, 2022, and I think it was one of the better releases from, you know, from last year. Now, honestly, when I think about this year as well, like, because this was released later on in the year, but this could compete with anything that's been released in 2023 as well. To me, that's how good this is. Really, really well done. A fragrance brand to me that's not really acknowledged as much as some of the other more popular brands like the YSL lines and Christian Dior. But this is a really, really solid fragrance, and I think it's one that's worth picking up. All right, doesn't smell exactly like everything else out there on the market. I really, really like this one, man. It has a unique facet to it. So check it out from the brand of Hugo Boss. This is Boss Bottled Parfum. All right, guys, this next fragrance is from the brand of Mind Games, and this is called Blockade. Blockade. I know I've talked about quite a few fragrances from this brand, but this one is really good, guys. Mango, lavender, patchouli, and suede. All right, this was released last year, 2022. I love that mango opening. Love the mango opening on this fragrance. Somehow this fragrance arrives at a kind of Creed Aventus kind of DNA, although it doesn't smell just like that, but it's going to put you in the mindset of Aventus, okay? But it's really, really good, man. It's really good because that mango does something totally different than what you would get from a pineapple. It's a little bit sweeter, honestly, and I really, really like that. Again, it dries down. You kind of get that musky nuance that comes into play. It's a little bit earthy and spicy, a little bit of sweetness from like vanilla. Again, very similar to the structure of a vintage, but it does it in a different way. It arrives there in a different way. That suede is warm, kind of musky, slightly sweet. Check it out. I think it's worth it. From the brand of Mind Games. Again, check this one out, guys. This is Blockade. All right, guys, and one of my biggest surprises. Surprised for me means when I smelled it, I was so surprised. And I'll tell you why in a moment, but this comes from the new Nichane X collection. All right, the Nichane X collection. I actually got this fragrance from So Avant-Garde. And guys, this one was the only one that I had never smelled the original before. And I'll explain, but this thing is phenomenal. This one is called 100 Silent Ways from the Nichane X collection. The bottle is gorgeous. Check that out. This one has peach, iris, leather, and patchouli. Now, the reason why I never smelled the original was because when you looked at the note breakdown, I could tell it was going to be super feminine. All right. I had been interested in putting my nose on it, but I just looked at the notes. It had a lot of florals in it, the peach, some other stuff. It had tuberose. So I was like, I'm going to steer clear of that one. But I got this one in with the rest of the Nichane X collection. And you notice the addition of leather and patchouli, two notes that were not in that original formulation. And that took this scent DNA and put it right to being more of a masculine kind of profile. To me, it smells like more Now, obviously, a woman can still wear it because I do think the tuberose is still here, the peach, some other florals, but that patchouli and leather, my gosh, guys, this is so good. You gotta get your nose on this one. These fragrances from the X collection were released this year, and this was one of my favorites of the bunch, seriously. So check this one out, guys. The original, I think, was more feminine. Guys can definitely wear this. It's a lot more masculine than the original release. From the Nichane X collection, this is 100 Silent Ways. All right, this next fragrance put a twist on a classic fragrance DNA from the brand of Giorgio Armani, released this year, Acqu Di Gio Profondo. Acqu Di Gio Profondo. Love the bottle. This is marine notes, geranium, patchouli, and orpiment. This really smells like a cross between Acqu Di Gio Essenza, which is discontinued, and Acqu Di Gio Profumo. So you have that marine nature up top that is really, really synonymous with all the fragrances from this line for the most part, but more so that Essenza fragrance, which I have smelled before in the past. But of course, you still have that patchouli and that orpiment in here, so it's kind of have that smoky, earthy thing that the Profumo variation of this fragrance bought, and I love it. Man, listen, any fragrance from the Acqu Di Gio line, I mean, all of them smell great. Honestly, it's just Profumo was my favorite, and this gave me Profumo with a little bit more of an aquatic marine twist, and I can dig that. So check this one out from the brand of Giorgio Armani. This is Acqu Di Gio Profondo. This one is worth picking up. All right, the next fragrance comes from the brand of Manera, and this is Tonka Cola. I think this was released late last year, if I'm not mistaken, 2022. And you get what the name indicates, cherry, cinnamon, there's a Coca-Cola Accord, and of course, Tonka bean. This came at a time when I was starving for something super original from fragrance brands. I wanted something super original and unique, and this delivered. It smells great. Guys, I don't know how they created that Coca-Cola Accord. They maybe took a book page out of Rosia's Creation ebook. I don't know. But it has that cherry cola thing going up top. Cinnamon, this is so good. Cinnamon, which is one of my favorite notes. And of course, Tonka, another one of my favorite notes. Home run, home run, home run. If you have not added this yet to your collection, do yourself a favor and pick it up. From the brand of Manera, this is Tonka Cola. All right, guys, from the brand of Unique Luxury, now probably one of my top 5 bottle presentations in my collection, but the fragrance is great as well. This is Mashimoto. And I think I talked about this fragrance last week. I mean, I love the bottle presentation on this. Just look at the bottle. This thing features notes of marshmallow, incense, caramel, and praline. So again, it smells like you're sitting by, kind of like you're sitting by a fireplace and you're roasting marshmallows. That's what this smells like, to really sum it up. But this thing is dynamite, man. This didn't really get the kind of attention that I probably would expect for a fragrance this good. I think this was released earlier this year in 2023, but it's a dynamic fragrance, sincerely. Really love that smokiness here. Love the sweetness, that marshmallow accord. Very unique. And again, that sweetness that comes in here from the praline, the vanilla tonka kind of stuff. This thing is just one you got to get your nose on, guys. Seriously. Get your nose on this one. If you love gourmands with a smoky twist, I think you'll really enjoy this one. From the brand of Givenchy Luxury. And it's an extrait de parfum, so it lasts all day long. This one is called Mashimoto. All right, guys, this next fragrance is from the brand of Amage, and this is King Blue. I absolutely love this scent profile. This is blackcurrant, mandarin, frankincense, oud, and sandalwood. Listen, the sandalwood really rounds this fragrance out. It's that soft, woody, slightly creamy sandalwood. To me, really neutralizes to an extent the frankincense and the oud. It is slightly animalic when you first spray it, but don't let that turn you away. Give it a second, guys, because this just dries down to this nice, smoky, incensey kind of fragrance. But I love that sweetness. There's a sweet element to this one as well. And again, it really works well with the sandalwood in the fragrance, because when it gets down to the dry down of the scent and you're left with that kind of sweet, resinous, smoky thing, the sandalwood just makes it kind of creamy. Trust me, it is something for the nose to behold. So make sure you check this one out. I know it's expensive. Maybe get yourself a decant. But I really like this one from the Opus collection from Amage. This is King Blue. All right, guys. Now we're going to another designer fragrance from the brand of Jean Paul Gaultier. This is LEL Elixir. LEL Elixir. This is lavender mint, vanilla, honey, benzoin, and tonka bean. So you have the familiarity of the original, very slightly in the opening with the lavender mint combination. But as you can see, guys, to me, what an elixir should be is, when I think of elixir, I think of decadent, I think of sweet, I think dark, and that's exactly what this is with that honey, benzoin, tonka combination. This was a home run for designer fragrance brands. Although it's a flanker, this is a great one. And again, the Jean Paul Gaultier line is one I'm used to. I'm accustomed to them doing flankers. They were one of the first brands to do like a flanker almost every year from this line, as well as Dolce & Gabbana. What line is that? The Dolce & Gabbana light blue line. They did flankers every year, so we got kind of used to that, but then everybody else jumped on the bandwagon. That's when this thing got out of control. But anyway, definitely probably one of the top 2 designer fragrances released this year in 2023. So this is one I highly recommend from the brand of Jean Paul Gaultier. This is LEL Elixir. All right, I've been ranting and raving about this next fragrance, so I won't talk about it that long, but guys, do yourself a favor and check this out from Louis Vuitton. This is Imagination. This also was released in 2022, and you just gotta smell it, man. This has citruses up top, and you're going to get some ginger, neroli, cinnamon, and there's this tea note on the dry down with some ambroxan. This is just what you want to smell like. This is what other people want you to smell like. One of those fragrances that I don't care where you are, I don't care what the circumstances are, this right here works, all right? And I'm gonna say this, people try to debate stuff, I don't care, really. I've never worn this fragrance out and not gotten a compliment, and that's a fact. Look at the dent I've put in this bottle. And the dent is not because it gets compliments, the dent is because it smells so good to me and because it's so easy to wear. This is a no-brainer. I don't have to think about this at all. Regardless of where I'm going, whether it's running errands, going out to an event of some kind, I don't care where it is. I know that I'm going to put this on and I'm going to smell great. And it's that easy. It's that simple with this fragrance, and I love it. One I'm always going to have in my collection. I highly recommend you guys get your nose on it. From the brand of Louis Vuitton, this is Imagination. And last but not least, from the brand of Givenchy Smoking Hot. This is Smoking Hot. One I highly recommend you get your nose on as well. Apple, cinnamon, tobacco, moss, vanilla, the smoky accord. Like I said, this smells like a apple cinnamon hookah tobacco kind of scent. That's exactly what this smells like. So that smoke here is not dense like a cigarette smoke. It's more, a little bit more airy. Allows the other notes in this fragrance to really breathe. This is a really, really sexy date night, going out and about on the town kind of fragrance. Get your nose on it, guys. I highly recommend you check it out. If you can get yourself a sample, do yourself a favor and do so. But other fragrances released over the last couple years here, I think this one is absolutely top tier. From the brand of Givenchy, this fragrance is definitely smoking hot. So make sure you get your nose on it. But that is it, guys. That is my time. I hope you enjoyed this list today, as I gave you, in my opinion, some of the must-have fragrances that you need to add to your collection in the year of 2023. Now, as always, I sincerely appreciate you guys' time and attention to these videos. I know you don't have to watch, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to take a few moments out to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you are sharing videos out to some other folks out there that you think could use the information and find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darren. I'm the bow tie fragrance guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you, you know where, on the flip side.